Well, we have some new details as a desperate search escalates in the New Mexico desert for a missing retired Air Force general. A silver alert was immediately issued when 68-year-old General William McCasland seemingly vanished last month. Authorities say he had suffered from previous episodes of brain fog, but investigators say they believe McCasland was mentally sharp when he disappeared. His wife reported him missing February 27th. 12 days ago, police declared there were no signs of foul play. And now some new questions are being raised about one of the general's former colleagues who went missing 8 months ago. NewsNation's Alex Capriello is live in New Mexico as this search continues. So, Alex, any indication these missing cases are related?
Well, Nichole, it's hard not to see the similarities and connect the dots, although, to be fair, the authorities out here and investigators have not specifically linked these two cases. But let's talk about the one that happened 9 months ago. It's the missing persons case of Monica Reza. She essentially vanished during a hike in the Los Angeles forest, last seen smiling and waving to her hiking companion about 30 feet ahead of her. But when that guy turned back around to try to see her, she was completely gone. So search and rescue teams were out there for several days trying to find Monica, but never actually found her body. Very, very weird there. But what makes this story so interesting is actually that she is tied to General McCasland right here in New Mexico. She's an aerospace engineer. She was working on a very special type of metal that's used in rockets. It was a project that the U.S. government was funding and something that General McCasland was overseeing. So now we're looking at two missing persons cases that are connected in terms of their work together, and they're both missing, vanishing off the face of the earth. This is something that was brought to the attention of Representative Tim Burchett on Capitol Hill. He was talking to NewsNation about the dangers that UFO whistleblowers face. Take a listen.
I've talked to a lot of those folks that are a little bit afraid of, being whistleblowers and things like that. He spent a lot of time researching the UFO UAP issue with a lot of the folks that I know. So, it's all suspect. And the fact the FBI got involved with it, too, is something I think that bears mentioning.
So when I saw these two missing persons cases and the link that exists between the two of them, I tipped off the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, who's actually leading the investigation for General McCasland here. I told them about it. I'm waiting to hear back whether or not they're actually communicating with California law enforcement and maybe sharing resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Good move there, Alex. What is the latest on the search?
Yeah, so we do know that local, state, and federal authorities are doing whatever they can. They tell us as much as possible that really they're looking for any sort of links or possible clues that help them find the missing general. But frankly speaking, out here on the foothills of the mountains, I'm not seeing a huge presence of search and rescue teams. And in fact, I'm hearing the exact same thing from volunteer searchers who are out there. Take, for example, this guy. He came all the way from Colorado to actually scan these mountains, hoping that he can help in this search for General McCasland. He told me about some of the dangers that people might face if they are stuck out here in the mountains, whether or not they get disoriented or not. He also expressed a bit of disappointment at what he's seeing as a lack of real effort from these local officials to try to find the general.
So I've been spending most of my time off trail, and it's very, very rugged. A lot of loose rock, loose soil, cactuses, boulders, extremely rugged terrains. I'm really surprised I haven't seen anyone. So I got here 3 days ago now. I'm under the impression that a lot of the searchers are volunteers, so they're going to be out here on a weekend. But I was out here all day Sunday, didn't see anyone. I haven't seen any aircraft, haven't seen any drones, haven't seen any searchers.
So again, the focus is on the mountains here because we know the general was an avid outdoorsman. But to be fair, the authorities have zero video evidence from the entire neighborhood canvassing 700 homes that actually shows him leaving his house or heading in this direction. So it's really just a mystery at this point.
It really is. All right. Alex Capriello live there in New Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.